Hi, friends. So we left off yesterday, verse 57 of chapter 41. Moreover, all the world came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain because the famine became severe throughout the world. And that previews what's going to happen today, because as all the world comes to Egypt, that is going to include Joseph's brothers, who surely never expected to see Joseph again. So we'll pick up chapter 42, verse 1. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you keep looking at one another? I have heard," he said, "that there is grain in Egypt. Go down and buy grain for us there, that we may live and not die." So 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he feared that harm might come to him. Thus the sons of Israel were among the other people who came to buy grain, for the famine had reached the land of Canaan. Okay, we'll stop there for a minute. Did you notice that Jacob was called Israel there in verse 5? So just be on the lookout for that we still see that name popping up, which just reinforces for us, remembering that this is a story of God's promise going from a family to a people. And Israel will be the name of that people. Jacob sounds kind of crabby. Like, what are you guys doing? Go. I've heard there's grain in Egypt. And so they're going to go, but he is not going to allow Benjamin to go. And we're going to continue to see this evidence of favoritism throughout this story. That does not go away. We'd love to see that resolved, because we know how damaging favoritism can be in families. But we're not going to see that resolved in this narrative, unfortunately. So we'll keep looking for signs of that too. All right, so the 10 sons are on their way to Egypt. Verse 6. Now Joseph was governor over the land. It was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed themselves before him with their faces to the ground. Does that remind us of anything? I'll talk about it in a minute. When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke harshly to them. "Where do you come from?" he said. They said, "From the land of Canaan, to buy food." Although Joseph had recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Joseph also remembered the dreams that he had dreamed about them. So his dreams are coming to pass in a way. Benjamin's not there. Jacob's not there. Rachel's not there. So, he had the one dream about the 11 sheaves bowing to his sheaf. And so there's only 10. Rather than 11. And then with the sun and moon and stars bowing to him, the sun and moon, understood to be his parents, are not here. So the dream, I'm sure that he's kind of mindful of this. It says he's mindful of this, like, oh yeah, I remember those dreams. But we're not seeing them play out exactly the way that he dreamt them. But it is an interesting scenario. It's not exactly that Joseph is ruling over them, but Joseph has the power, has the upper hand here for sure. Okay, verse 9. Joseph also remembered the dreams that he had dreamed about them. He said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land." That term, nakedness of the land, really just means you've come to seek out our vulnerabilities, right? You have come to observe what's happening here so that you can go back and help an enemy overtake us or do harm to us. Verse 10, they said to him, "No, my lord, your servants have come to buy food. We are all sons of one man. We are honest men. Your servants have never been spies." But he said to them, "No, you have come to see the nakedness of the land." They said, "We, your servants, are 12 brothers, the sons of a certain man in the land of Canaan. The youngest, however, is now with our father, and one is no more." But Joseph said to them, "It is just as I have said to you, you are spies. Here is how you shall be tested. As Pharaoh lives, you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Let one of you go and bring your brother, while the rest of you remain in prison, in order that your words may be tested, whether there is truth in you. Or else, as Pharaoh lives, surely you are spies." And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. Okay, so Joseph is trying to get Benjamin to Egypt. And so he's saying, all right, I'm going to keep 9 of you, and one of you is going to go back and bring that youngest brother here, and that's going to be the test of whether or not you're telling the truth. All right, verse 18. On the third day, Joseph said to them, "Do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here where you are imprisoned. The rest of you shall go and carry grain for the famine of your households. And bring your the rest of you shall go and carry grain for the famine of your households, and bring your youngest brother to me. Thus your words will be verified, and you shall not die." And they agreed to do so. They said to one another, "Alas, we are paying the penalty for what we did to our brother. We saw his anguish when he pleaded with us, but we would not listen. That is why this anguish has come upon us." Okay, so Joseph has changed his mind here. He's not going to require all of them to stay except for one. Instead, he's going to do the reverse. One stays, the rest of them go. They can take food so that their families can have food, and then they are to bring Benjamin back. The brothers are interpreting this as punishment for what they did to Joseph, who they don't think is there, obviously. They don't know where he is. And they are kind of interpreting this as, this is what we get for the thing that we did. And actually, as they retell this here, we learn a detail we had not heard in the original story. We saw his anguish when he pleaded with us. So this makes what the brothers did even more cold-hearted, knowing that their brother pleaded to not be sold. And they did it anyway. All right, verse 22. Then Reuben answered them, "Did I not tell you not to wrong the boy? But you would not listen to me. So now there comes a reckoning for his blood." They did not know that Joseph understood them, since he spoke with them through an interpreter. He turned away from them and wept. Then he returned and spoke to them. And he picked out Simeon and had him bound before their eyes. Joseph then gave orders to fill their bags with grain, to return every man's money to his sack, and to give them provisions for their journey. This was done for them. Okay, so Reuben emerges here with an "I told you so" moment, because we remember that he had in mind, he told him to throw him in a pit. He had in mind to go rescue Joseph and bring him back to Jacob. And so they're having this conversation in their language. They don't know that Joseph can understand them because Joseph has been speaking to them through an interpreter, but Joseph does know what they're saying. And so we're not exactly sure why Joseph is weeping here, but it could be that hearing that Reuben did stick up for him, moved him. And then he has Simeon bound. Simeon is the second oldest, so it's possible that the reason he chooses Simeon is because he's heard that Reuben had tried to stop his kidnapping. And so he's trying to, choose the oldest would be, the most costly one for the family to lose. But he's not going to pick Reuben because Reuben did what he was supposed to do. But that's just, or he did right by him. And so he picked Simeon instead. But that is just conjecture. We don't know. That's just an idea. And so he has Simeon bound before their eyes, and I wonder if he is watching their reaction to that happening. Are they going to be more compassionate or worried about their brother than they were about him? It's just, there's so much we don't know, but that I would love to know about what's going on in Joseph's mind during this. All right, so then Joseph orders that their bags be filled with grain and orders that their money be returned. Okay, so basically he's giving them this food for free, and they are going to be on their way. So verse 26, they loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed. When one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw his money at the top of the sack. He said to his brothers, "My money has been put back. Here it is in my sack." At this, they lost heart and turned trembling to one another, saying, "What is this that God has done to us?" When they came to let's stop there for a minute. So, we would think maybe, well, hey, we got free food. This is great. Our money was given back to us. We think that their anguish here, they're thinking that God is what is this that God has done to us? That this is misfortune. They're interpreting this as misfortune, is because if they get caught with the money, maybe somebody will accuse them of having stolen it. Maybe this is a way of, And they had said they were honest men, and this is going to disprove that. Either way, the money makes them very nervous. We'll see it again in a minute. Okay, verse 29. When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them, saying, the man, the Lord of the land, spoke harshly to us and charged us with spying on the land. But we said to him, we are honest men. We are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in the land of Canaan. Then the man, the Lord of the land, said to us, by this I shall know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers with me. Take grain for the famine of your households and go your way. Bring your youngest brother to me, and I shall know that you are not spies, but honest men. Then I will release your brother to you, and you may trade in the land. As they were emptying their sacks, there in each one's sack was his bag of money. When they and their father saw their bundles of money, they were dismayed. And their father Jacob said to them, I am the one you have bereaved of children. Joseph is no more, and Simeon is no more, and now you would take Benjamin? All this has happened to me. I love Jacob's feeling sorry for himself. Certainly he is a victim in ways, his brother or his son was taken from him. But he's just a little bit whiny. All this has happened to me. I don't know. Verse 37. Then Reuben said to his father, you may kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you. But he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he alone is left. If harm should come to him on the journey that you are to make, you would bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol. Okay, so it is disturbing that Reuben says, you may kill my 2 sons if I don't bring him back to you. But Reuben is trying to say, look, you can trust me, Dad. I'm going to take good care of him. I'll bring him back. And then Jacob says these incredibly hurtful words to his sons. Joseph's already gone. If Benjamin is harmed too, I will, it will kill me. The grief will kill me. He alone is left. So Jacob doesn't mind sending his other sons on this, what could be a very risky journey. He's still showing favoritism. And it's hard for us to read and wrap our minds around. All right, chapter 43, verse 1. Now the famine was severe in the land, and when they had eaten up the grain that they had brought from Egypt, their father said to him, go again, buy us a little more food. But Judah said to him, the man solemnly warned us, saying, you shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down. For the man said to us, you shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. Israel said, why did you treat me so badly as to tell the man that you had another brother? They replied, the man questioned us carefully about ourselves and our kindred, saying, is your father still alive? Have you another brother? What we told him was an answer to these questions. Could we in any way know that he would say, bring your brother down? Then Judah said to his father Israel, send the boy with me, and let us be on our way, so that we may live and not die, you and we and also our little ones. I myself will be surety for him. You can hold me accountable for him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. If we had not delayed, we would now have returned twice. Then their father Israel said to them, if it must be so, then do this. Take some of the choice fruits of the land in your bags, and carry them down as a present to the man. A little balm and a little honey, gum, resin, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Take double the money with you. Carry back with you the money that was returned in the top of your sacks. Perhaps it was an oversight. Take your brother also, and be on your way again to the man. May God Almighty grant you mercy before the man, so that he may send back your other brother and Benjamin. As for me, if I am bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. So the men took the present, and they took double the money with them, as well as Benjamin. Then they went on their way down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. Okay, so out of necessity, Jacob relents and says, fine, you can take Benjamin, and if I'm bereaved, then I am bereaved. But he sends them with gifts. which might remind us of Jacob sending all those gifts ahead of him and his family to Esau. So he's good at the trying to smooth things over with a little bit of gifting. So we leave them today standing before Joseph, and we'll see what happens tomorrow to this group of brothers who are about to be reunited, even though only one of them knows it right now. So we will read some more tomorrow. Thanks a lot.